What up, folks? It's your boy Trailz, and we back with another one. And we got a reaction to Joe Biden lying and pardoning his son, although he said he wouldn't. Now, first, we're going to react to this quick clip from back in June when questioned about this before the election, before the results. What was Joe Biden's temperature on the pardon? Let's take a look.
With regard to the question regarding the family, I'm extremely proud of my son Hunter. He has overcome an addiction. He's one of the brightest, most decent men I know, and I am satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I'd abide
He lying. He's not satisfied. Let's rewind that.
that I'm not going to do anything. I said I'd abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Mr.
President, you led up the community to some sentence.
And it turns out that was a lie. Now we can see this article is from June 13th, 2024. Fast forward to today by AP, the same people from the last article. Guess what happened? Joe Biden pardons his son Hunter despite previous pledges not to. President Joe Biden pardoned his son Hunter, sparing the younger Biden a possible prison sentence for a federal felony gun and tax convictions, and reversing his past promises not to use his extraordinary powers of the presidency for the benefit of his family. The Democratic president had previously said he would not pardon his son or commute his sentence after convictions in the two cases in Delaware and California. The move on Sunday night comes weeks before Hunter Biden was set to receive his punishment after his trial conviction in the gun case and guilty plea on tax charges, and less than 2 months before President-elect Donald Trump is set to return to the White House. It caps a long-running legal saga for the younger Biden, who publicly disclosed he was under federal investigation in December 2020, a month after his father's 2020 victory, and cast a pale of pall over the elder Biden's legacy. Biden, who time and again pledged to Americans that he would restore norms and respect for the rule of law after Trump's first term in office, ultimately used his position to help his son, breaking his public pledge to Americans that he would do no such thing. In a statement released Sunday evening, Biden said, "I believe in a justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process and led to a miscarriage of justice." The president's sweeping pardon covers not just the gun and tax offenses against the younger Biden, but also any other offenses against the United States which has committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period of January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. So 10 years off. In June, Biden categorically ruled out a pardon or commutation for his son, telling reporters as his son faced trial in the Delaware gun case, "I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him." As recently as November 8th, days after Trump's victory, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre ruled out a pardon for clemency for the younger Biden, saying, "We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no." The elder Biden has publicly stood by his only living son as Hunter descended into serious drug addiction and threw his family life into turmoil before getting back on track in recent years. The president's political rivals have long used Hunter Biden's myriad mistakes as a political cudgel against his father. One here, lawmakers display photos of the drug-addled president's son half-naked in a seedy hotel. House Republicans also sought to use the younger Biden's years of questionable overseas business ventures in a since-abandoned attempt to impeach his father, who has long denied involvement in his son's dealings or benefited from them in any way. The charges in this case came about only after several of my political opponents in the Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Biden said in a statement, "No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's case can reach any other conclusion that Hunter was singled out only because he is my son. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision," Biden added, claiming he made the decision this weekend. The president had spent the Thanksgiving holiday in Nantucket, Massachusetts with the Hunter and his family and departed for Angola later Sunday on what may be his last foreign trip as president before leaving office in January 20th, 2025. Hunter Biden was convicted in June in Delaware federal court for 3 felonies for purchasing a gun in 2018 when prosecutors said he lied on a federal forum by claiming he was not illegally using or addicted to drugs. He had been set to stand trial in September in a California case accusing him of failing to pay at least $1.4 million in taxes. But he agreed to plead guilty to misdemeanor and felony charges in a surprise move hours after jury selection was set to begin. David Weiss, the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney in Delaware who negotiated the plea deal, was subsequently named a special counsel by Attorney General Merrick Garland to have more autonomy over the prosecution of the president's son. Hunter Biden said he was pleading guilty in that case to spare his family more pain and embarrassment after the gun trial aired salacious details about his struggles with the crack cocaine addiction. The tax charges carry up to 17 years behind bars, and gun charges are punishable by up to 25 years of prison, though federal sentencing guidelines were expected to call for far less time, and it was possible he would have avoided prison entirely. Hunter Biden was supposed to be sentenced this month in 2 federal cases, which the special counsel brought after a plea deal with the prosecutors that would likely have him spared him prison time, fell apart under the scrutiny by a judge. Under the original deal, Hunter was supposed to plead guilty to misdemeanor tax offenses and would have avoided prosecution in the gun case as long as he stayed out of trouble for 2 years. But the plea deal hearing quickly unraveled last year when the judge raised concerns about unusual aspects of the deal. The younger Biden was subsequently indicted in the 2 cases. Hunter Biden's legal team this weekend released a 52-page white paper titled "The Political Persecutions of Hunter Biden," describing the president's son as a surrogate to attack and injure his father, both as a candidate in 2020 and later as president. The younger Biden's lawyers have long argued that the president's bowed to political pressure to indict the president's son amid heavy criticism by Trump and other Republicans of what they call the sweetheart plea deal. Rep. James Comer, one of Republican chairmen leading the congressional investigations into the Biden family, blasted the president's pardon, saying that the evidence against Hunter was just the tip of the iceberg. It's unfortunate that rather than come clean about decades of wrongdoing, President Biden and his family continue to do everything they can to avoid accountability, Comer said on X, the website formerly known as Twitter. Biden is hardly the first president to deploy his pardon powers to benefit those close to him. In the final weeks in office, Trump pardoned Charles Kushner, the father of his son-in-law Jared Kushner, as well as multiple allies convicted in special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Trump over the weekend announced plans to nominate the elder Kushner to be the U.S. envoy to France in his next administration. Trump, who has pledged to dramatically overhaul and install loyalists across the Justice Department after he was prosecuted for his role in trying to subvert the 2020 presidential election, said in a social media post Sunday that Hunter Biden's pardon was such an abuse and miscarriage of justice. Does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the J6 hostages who have now been in prison for years? Trump asked, referring to those convicted to the violent January 6, 2021 riot at the U.S. Capitol by his supporters. Hunter Biden said in the email statement that He will never take for granted the relief granted to him and vowed to devote the life he has rebuilt to helping those who are still sick and suffering. I have admitted and taken responsibility for my mistakes during the darkest days of my addiction. Mistakes that have been exploited to publicly humiliate and shame me and my family for political sport, the young Biden said. Hunter Biden's legal team filed Sunday night, both Los Angeles and Delaware, asking the judges handling his gun and tax case to immediately dismiss him, citing the pardon. A spokesperson for Weiss did not respond to a message seeking commitment Sunday night. NBC News was the first to report Biden was expected to pardon his son Sunday. Associated Post writer John Boak in Nantucket, Massachusetts, contributed to this report. Shout out to you, John. And yeah, we have it there, folks. It looks like Joe lied. Of course, he was going to pardon his son. Anybody who thought he wasn't, congratulations, you're an idiot. And it goes to show you that he was only saying he wasn't because he expected Kamala to win so they could subvert the justice system, furthermore preventing any harm. And it must be great to do crack with guns and not go to prison. Name a black guy that's ever happened to. I don't know any. But yeah, make sure you go ahead and leave that like, sub. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Is this overreach? Did you know in June that he was lying when he said he trusted the judicial system? Do any of them? I doubt it. But go ahead and let me know what you think in the comments. And like always, thanks for watching. And deuces.